All right, After Darkers, prepare to be mesmerized. Our next guest doesn't just create art, he captures the cosmos in molten glass. He's the mastermind behind Hidden Village Creations, crafting everything from intricate marbles to functional art pieces that are as durable as they are beautiful. His work has even graced the set of our films, James Almighty 2, Gone with the Mighty, adding an authentic touch to our scenes with his custom glass props. I mean, seriously, out of this world. Can't wait to show everyone. Please help me with welcoming the alchemist of glass, the one and only Mike Astral Walker Moore. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Have a seat. Let's hang out.
Yeah. How's it going?
It goes. How is your day going?
Fantastic.
That's great to hear. You got no sleep last night, did you?
No. I was in the studio till 6 in the morning this morning. Got home at about 7. Took like 2 hours sleep, and I'm here. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming to hang out.
Right. I think she laid in bed and sort of closed her eyes.
Yeah. Same.
You know, just a little rest.
Yes. Right.
Good.
Meditation.
Absolutely.
Get ready.
Yeah, you can
Right?
call it that.
Right?
That's a good
I
way
was-
of putting it.
Yeah. Planning my outfits for today.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Super important.
It goes with the beard, I can tell.
Yeah. You're gonna got the pendant
Hey,
on.
man.
It works.
Absolutely.
It does have a vibe.
Thanks.
I'm here
appreciate
for it. All right, you ready to dive in with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Let's
let's
talk.
do this. You've been glass blowing for over a decade, right?
Yeah. 12 years.
That's incredible. What drew you to this incredible art form?
So I was working in a head shop, and we featured artist-made glass, and I really liked that glass, and I was good at selling it. So I was like, I'm not making a lot of money in this head shop, so maybe I can make the glass and sell it and make more money.
Brilliant.
And so that was like initially my initial inspiration and motivation for it was just the income. But I learned a passion through it. I tried some lessons. I made some little simple beads, a 3-hour course. Made 8 beads during that course. Turned into a 12-year career.
That's wild.
Right. So I went and I paid my life savings to a guy in Calgary, and I spent the entire winter driving from Edmonton to Calgary 3 days a week for the entire winter that year to learn the glass blowing and to take that apprenticeship through this guy. His name is Barracuda Glass. Wonderful fella. Incredible work. One of Canada's premier best workers. So it was a really incredible opportunity to be able to learn from somebody like that and to spend so much time in his studio learning. It kickstarted me up into this career and gave me the tools and the information that I needed to actually take this into a career versus a hobby.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you are putting that kind of dedication in, how do you not kick ass, right?
Hours equal powers.
Here, here.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
all it is about.
I like that. We should put that on something.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a Jason Lee quote.
Okay.
Jason Lee is a glass blower. He's one of the original people in my industry, the original pipe makers of North America.
Really?
The movement started about 25 years ago, and Jason Lee was there at the start. So he's an innovator of techniques in my industry. He was an educator, and that's one of his premier quotes. That's our mantra. Hours equal powers. Anytime somebody's feeling kind of bad about what they do or they're not feeling the progress, you just tell them that. They feel all right.
It makes sense though, right?
Right? Yeah.
I love it. I'm here for it. So your pieces often incorporate gold and silver flakes, creating this really neat cosmic effect. So how did you work that in? What's the process there?
Right. So glass or metal fuming is a technique that was developed back in that day that I'm talking about with Jason Lee. It was developed by a fella named Bob Snodgrass by accident. He had some metal on his bench and he touched his molten glass to it and it picked up the metal and it looked to him like he messed up, but it was a commission for somebody, so he still had to give that person the product. As they used it, they noticed it was changing color. That's how color changing glass came about. It was an accidental discovery by this guy who accidentally got some metal in his glass. And so I took that information and that basis and I started what happens if I put an actual piece of metal into the glass instead of just vaporizing the metal onto the glass, right? And that's where the galaxy glass comes in. You mix silver or you mix gold in with that glass and you get all the stars and the bright color and all that.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things that you make, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Mine too.
I spent some time on your website, dude. You
Word.
got beautiful stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
It's great. And coming in your shop too is just rad as hell.
Word, right?
Yes. Love it. So you mentioned that you pan for gold locally in the Okanagan. How does that affect your creations?
So actually, that's one of the best things about what I do here in Kelowna. So I vend my product at a lot of local markets, a lot of local crafters markets. And once a week or once every couple of weeks, I go out to Mission Creek here in Kelowna and I do some casual gold panning. I'll spend a nice day out on the creek with my shovel, bucket, and pan, and I just collect some gold.
Right.
And I'll take that gold, I'll put it into my glass here, and that's the glass I specifically sell at the local markets. And I tell folks, like, this is made with gold that I found in Mission Creek. That's what makes the color, that's what makes the designs. Folks love that, of course, right?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you? Right. So and like most people don't even know you can find gold here in town.
I didn't.
Like, and you're allowed to. There's no
wild.
rules against it as long as your boots are in the water. You're okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I mean, that seriously creates something so unique and so special and so close to home, right? Like, how do you not connect with it?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
it.
You're a rock star.
Thanks.
Your workshop in Rutland is filled with like incredible vibrant pieces and personal touches everywhere. How does your environment influence your work?
It's a chaotic mess. Yeah,
That's the
like you know, typical creatives. I would say most of my influence for my work actually comes from like my break times, like when I'm scrolling Instagram and things like that. Like, you know, you turn on your news feed or whatever, and you've got 200 sources of inspiration just from your quick scroll, right? So that's where most of my inspiration comes from, and it's kind of a passive thing. I'll see something, I won't necessarily remember I saw that, but I try it out later. I'm like, yo, that's cool.
Right on.
Right. So that's how I kind of developed that. You know, I have my personal touches. Like I've got my sticker wall in front of me that has all my special stickers and things like that. My wife's pictures right up in the front, in the middle.
Great.
I love that. She it's a Polaroid she took for me 10 years ago.
Oh,
So
special.
yeah, that's been on my wall for 10 years.
Oh, that's
like,
awesome. That's so adorable. That's
yeah,
something I would
thanks.
totally
Yeah,
do.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it. You know, it's that motivation. And, you know, I get to look at that anytime I'm feeling kind of like meh, or like if the glass isn't working out, or like you could be working on something for 3 days and the last move you're making, the whole thing breaks, and there goes $300, all your work, and you know, I look at that picture, I feel better.
That is awesome. That is so special. Oh, I got like
Look at you, you soft bastard, you. Oh, you're so adorable, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a little scruffy puppy.
Got me all blushing and hot around the collar over here.
Yeah, don't worry, I get it.
I'm just gonna let you
I
two
do
chat.
like
I'm out. I'm just gonna watch. This is great.
Yeah, I saw you guys being all romantic. That was cute.
I don't know. I wasn't doing it.
I heard the lasagna
I'm
was
blushing.
good.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, okay. I'm red. Okay, I'm colored. I'm having a damn moment. And the lasagna was freaking
Lasagna
fabulous.
was good.
Second time around, it was good. It was great. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Focus. You've created a range of items from marbles to functional art pieces. What is your favorite piece to create right now?
Oh, I love my gold encasement marbles. So like I've innovated a technique, and as far as anybody can tell, I'm one of the only people in the world who do this with
Right
gold. And I take large amounts of gold, 1 gram or more, and I encase it into the glass as an individual piece, and it creates a star inside the marble. Like it resembles a big star glowing in space, right? And I sell them as like an investment, as a nest egg. Right?
That's smart.
People buy it when like you buy a new home or you're moving in, somebody wants to buy you a housewarming gift. You know, they buy you this marble. The marble goes up in value as gold goes up in value because the gold inside is 100% recoverable. So, you know, like
cool.
if the gold ever gets to a value where it's worth more to you than the marble is, you could break that marble in case of emergency or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you have a pearl of gold that you can then take and sell and turn into real money that you can use for whatever you want, right? So it's kind of an interesting way that I'm combining art with investments. You know, because like art's already classified as an asset, but now I'm tethering it to a legitimate global asset with a trackable value.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps the glass valuable for people.
I
You
think
know,
that's so neat.
And who's going into your house to steal a marble? They're taking the laptop, they're taking
That's
the stereo,
fair.
you know?
Yeah.
You can keep your precious metals stacked in a way that looks nice. You don't have to keep them hidden in a box where nobody ever gets to appreciate it.
That's
you know,
fair.
and you actually get to appreciate the things that you work hard for. And that's my motivation for that. I just love it.
I do too. I vibe with it. I like how you take things that don't necessarily go automatically together and create something incredible with it.
Well, and that's the thing is this is what I do is something that like I've always been told is impossible.
We don't like that.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Somebody tells you it's impossible, it's like I get more motivation to do it. I want to prove you wrong now.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna do it.
Hell
I'm gonna
yeah.
show you. And like somebody told me that it was impossible 6 years ago, and 6 years
Look at
later,
you
I'm
now.
the only one in the world making these nest egg marbles.
That
right?
is awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm
never
pretty proud
lose
of it.
that. The world needs more of that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I
no,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Keep bringing the vibes, man. I'm here
Word.
for it. You have mentioned that glass is your immortality. Can you elaborate on what that means to you?
Yeah, so the type of glass that I use is called borosilicate glass. It's a very resilient and long-lasting glass. The only thing that really breaks it down is mechanical action. So like if you physically shatter it,
Yeah.
it'll break down, but it's still borosilicate glass. So with these marbles, there's like a primary factor where you could put the marble into a safe, for example, and bury that safe under a mountain and then just leave it for 1,000,000 years or whatever. That a mountain will erode away, the safe will erode away, but that marble will still be there.
That's
That's what I mean by my immortality. I'm creating things that could reasonably and realistically be artifacts in the future. Somebody could be digging up old Kelowna town site, find some of my glass in 2,000 years from now and be like, yo, what was going on here?
legit.
You
Was
know,
this really the size of their brains?
Right, yes,
Right?
exactly.
No, just this dude.
They didn't have the technology to do this. And, like, I love that whole thing. You know, you get all the old, like, they didn't have the technology to cut the stones like this and stuff like
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to be one of those people
That
to
is
the
so
future
cool.
archaeologists. You know, they're going to look at my work and be like, how the hell did this guy do that?
Right?
You know, and that's what I mean by my immortality. I'm creating something that's going to last far, far, far longer than even the memory of me.
That's
So-
that's fair.
That's
Okay, so tell me, have you gone out and buried some things around yet?
I bury things, I hide things,
Yes.
I like the whole works. All across BC, all across Alberta, down into the States as far south as Colorado.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
awesome.
marbles, I have glass, I have all kinds of things hidden in all sorts of little places that people might or might not find them.
That's cool. I'm like treasure hunt, y'all.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You could right now in Kelowna, you could find half a dozen pieces of glass
Really?
of different values.
Yeah.
Just they're out there right now.
Okay, you guys hear that?
They're out there right now. Go
Go
find
for a
them.
walk.
Go find them. If you
Sick.
find that stuff, tag me on Instagram. Show me that you found it. I want to see that picture.
That's awesome. Like, that is so wild,
Thanks.
my dude. What advice would you give to anyone aspiring to become a glass artist as well?
Yeah, that hours equal powers.
Yeah.
You know, hit it with determination and commitment. Because if you don't, you're not gonna go anywhere with it. You know, you have to put the work in. You have to put the energy into it, and you can't let yourself get discouraged. Like I said, you could be working on something for 3 days, it breaks. That
What are you
happens.
gonna do?
Embrace the suck.
Yep.
Embrace the suck. Learn from your mistake because glass does have rules. If
Yeah.
it broke, it's because you broke a rule. So figure out which rule you broke and do it better. You know what I mean? And then you grow, you learn, and then you do it better. And that's the
How
progress.
passionate you are, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Your pieces feel incredibly personal. Do you ever collaborate with clients to create custom work that reflects their energy, their story?
Yeah, absolutely. So I specifically will work with like people will give me music to work with. I'll make the things to their music, or like cremations are probably the most personal thing I make. I make cremation memorials. And so pendants, marbles, urns, things like that. That's probably the most personal thing I make. And I allow people to be involved in the process of that. They actually process their loved one's ashes in the way that I need it to be processed so that I don't have to handle their loved one.
Oh.
I don't want that burden. And, you know, it makes me feel a little bit weird with things. So I let people get involved in that. And that's everybody loves that.
Yeah,
They
that's
love
super
being
special.
able to be involved in that process and turn their loved one into a everlasting memorial.
Something beautiful, right?
Thanks, yeah.
I love
the
that.
galaxy. It would turn your loved one into the stars.
We gotta do
Fido
that with
passed
my
away, and now he's stars.
Absolutely.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend, but now I just wear a bunch of diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
These are my best friends. Becky's on my right ear and Kelsey's on my left.
That's right. Yeah,
Right?
you get
Keep
it. You get it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
That's right. Yeah.
Here. What does a typical day look like in the studio for you?
Yeah, so I get in there, I turn on everything, I turn my kiln on, I go into the back, I turn on my 230-liter liquid oxygen tank, I go back into my studio, hook up my propane, and I start working on some warm-up projects to get my hands working, because it's a lot of hand work in front of me. I sit there like this all day, right? So, you gotta have things working smoothly. Once I got my workout, my warm-up projects done, then I move on to my actual work that I have scheduled for that day.
Yeah.
I have a variety of wholesale customers and retail customers, custom work and markets that I provide my product for. So there's always something going on my schedule. And I keep a set work schedule, right?
That's
So
smart.
like 3 days a week I'll do pipes, 2 days a week I'll do marbles, the other I'll do fun projects or custom work.
Yeah.
So that's my typical breakdown. At the end of the day, I turn it all off. I turn my kiln onto a annealing mode, which strengthens the glass while it cools down. And the next day I open that kiln. It's like Christmas morning every day.
That's so cool. Like, what a vibe to live in.
Right?
Where can our audience find your work, or perhaps even come and watch you work?
Right. So yeah, Mary Jane's headquarters on Highway 33 in Rutland Road. That's where my studio is. I'm located right there beside their shop. I have a big open window. You can come and check it out and look in and watch. You can buy my product at Mary Jane's and Chiba Chibas. You can buy my product on my website, hiddenvillagecreations.com.
Yeah.
And directly through myself, through my Instagram, Facebook, and at local markets here in Kelowna. So I do the Kelowna Farmers Market a lot. Saturdays primarily.
Okay.
And then other crafters markets throughout the holidays. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So you're just super accessible.
Always. Try
Gotta
to
be.
Yep.
That's awesome. Right on. Well, talking about your work is one thing, but I'm sure seeing it is completely another. So let's showcase some of your incredible creativity in action. What do you say?
Yeah. So here I'm just starting to heat up that glass. The gold's being a little bouncy in there, but it will stick to the glass once it gets a little hotter. And now it's hot. I'm gonna just start working it in while keeping the handle up, and it starts sinking the gold inside the glass. So the gold's really dense and the glass is a liquid when it's that hot, right? We turn up the heat and we really get that glass flowing around it, because we don't want the gold to migrate out of the glass. We got a little star glowing in the heat. Now I'm just gonna attach a handle to this backside, and we grab it just like that. It welds together, and I can start pulling out what's called a shoulder. And the shoulder is that tapered section you see there. And I'm gonna keep that a little colder because it's gonna act as my control point. And I'm gonna start working to take this hollow handle off because we no longer need it. And so I just grab that gooey elastic glass and I just pull it away like that. You get a big old glob of it. Dump that in the water. And so now gold does something really cool called recolescence. Now, if you watch long enough, as this gold cools down, as soon as it gets to its point where it goes from liquid to solid, it'll brightly flash. And it's a photon release. But yeah, there we go. We have a gold encasement. So that's a 0.15 gram of gold inside that glass. Then I take some black glass. Now I can turn this piece into like anything. It could be, from this point, it could be a marble, it can be a pendant, it can be a detailing on something. Like really the sky's the limit. It's just a component at this point. And because the black glass is a lot more dense than the clear glass, it's gonna push the clear glass out a lot, and it's gonna disc out that gold. So the gold bead was a sphere. Now it's turning into more of a pancake in there, and it's gonna give kind of like a larger star look. The tool that I'm using is a graphite marver. It's basically just
It's made out of graphite carbon, and it allows me to tool the glass without taking too much heat out of the glass and without stressing the glass. And we just let heat and gravity do its job now. It's gonna kind of work all the glass and pull the glass down into a nice even form. Glass does, it likes to have the smallest surface area possible, just like a water droplet. So when you heat it up like this and you get it liquid, it'll pull back and bead up and droplet out the way fluids like to. Once that cools down, it'll be a very black, sparkly background around that gold bead. Right here, I'm just pulling off the excess of the colored glass. And then I'm gonna flatten it up with this graphite tool here. All glass blowing tools have to be made by a glass blower who knows what's going on. All our tools are custom. Now I take a tungsten pick. This is just a sharp tungsten rod. And what I'm gonna do with my pendant style, some guys put like a glass loop on it and they call that done, but me, I poke a little hole in the top, and then I'm actually going to use a specialized bonding agent, and I'm gonna put a sterling silver bail in the top of this pendant. And that'll be what you hang it from the chain. So we just soak some heat there. And because I'm shaky, I'm gonna use my marber to help me. And we just poke our little indent like that. And you see we got that bent there. That's gonna provide the void for the pin. There's a sterling silver pin that'll go down into the glass, and the epoxy will hold it there. So now, I just do that. I take my other torch and I heat out that punty scar. It's a scar that's left from the handle that I just broke off. We'll melt that in and we'll have our finished pendant. It has to go in the kiln for the night. It'll cool down and it'll anneal, and that strengthens the glass. It makes the glass all get unstressed. It relaxes it. And then tomorrow it'll be stronger, and that's when I can do the bail epoxy. There we go. So we let that cool down because the glass is still kind of in an elastic fluid state at the moment. Once that's kind of solidified up, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it in the kiln, and then we're good.
Yay, oh my God, that was freaking awesome.
Word.
Yes, that was so cool to see. I mean, I love that. I
Thank
can
you.
sit there and watch all day.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really neat to watch.
I've never seen that before.
That blew my mind
obviously,
when you
like
said
I'm there
that.
working, you know, I've got my point of view. I've
Not
never
third parties.
Yeah, and the way that you do, like you do great work. That was incredible.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
wow.
that.
Wow, I got goosebumps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
Yeah, word.
I am so jacked that you came on the show today and that we could share this with the audience. This has been a trip. Rad as hell, man.
Well, thank you so much for having me,
Thank
guys. I
you.
appreciate you both. You're fantastic. This is fantastic.
Well, we really enjoy working with you as well.
Cheers.
Yeah, and I can't wait for more projects in the future.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Gonna do it.
Yeah, we are going to do the do. Right on. Well, I'm going to shake your hand, sir.
Awesome.
And thank you again.
Thank you so
and
much.
we will chat soon.